Welcome all of you. Now we'll start scalars and vector, new chapter from physics. Now for state board people, those who belongs to Maharashtra state board, this chapter is included in mathematical techniques. You have mathematical techniques as your second chapter, and in that chapter scalars and vectors are there. For CBSE board people, those who belongs to CBSE board, this chapter is included in your IAS fourth chapter, that is motion in a plane, and in that chapter this content is available. Now here for integrated batch for JEE and NEET, we are studying separately the scalars and vectors. So what is scalar? So these two are the types of physical quantities. Like we have studied the two types, fundamental quantity and derived quantity. Again, based on other factor, these are also two types. So we can say the quantities can be classified into two parts, basic, or we can say fundamental quantities or derived quantities. This is in one manner. In which manner we have differentiate or classified these two quantities based on whether these quantities dependent on any other quantity. Like these basic and fundamental quantities are independent of any other quantity we have studied, and derived quantities are quantities which are dependent on two or more quantities. Here आपण बघितले. Again, the quantities also can be classified into two parts, but the classification cause is different. On which basis we are classifying is different. Okay. Now see, some students are there in classroom. So we can classify in many number of ways, such that classify based on their sex. So male, female, male group is different, female group will be different. Okay, classify the students on the basis of their marks, then average topper student one group, average student second group, lower mark student third group. Okay, now another way of classification, classify the student on the basis of castes or religions, then Hindu religion, Muslim religion, Christian religion, Sikh religion. Okay, so there may be a different cause on or different basis on which we are classifying. Now quantities are also classifying into two parts. One is scalar quantities and vector quantities. Now what are scalar and what are vector? Scalar quantities are quantities which have only the magnitude, and the vector quantities are the quantities which have magnitude as well as direction. With the direction we can show the quantity, vector quantity. Okay. Now, for example, length of a scale, or length of this pen, length of this marker. So wherever you go, length is, suppose length is 15 centimeter. Suppose length is 15 centimeter. So असा असेल तरी पण 15, असा असेल तरी पण 15, असा असेल तरी 15, असा असेल तरी 15, horizontal असेल तरी पण 15. So this length doesn't require direction. So no need to write. Length of this pen is 15 meter in north. No need to write. Okay. So example. So only magnitude, only the value is required. So length. Unit is meter. Length is also called as distance. Actual path traveled is called distance. Actual path traveled. For example, if I goes to Mumbai and return back, and suppose Mumbai is 350 kilometers from here. So what is the total distance traveled? So 350 of going journey and 350 of coming journey. So total 350 plus 350, total 700 kilometers is the distance. But what is the displacement? Is 0. Why 0? Displacement is vector quantity. So 350 in north, 350 in south. So suppose if you assume north as positive, then south will be negative because that is vector quantity. Or if you assume south as positive, then north will be negative. So positive 350 and negative 350, the displacement of the journey will be 0. So the displacement is vector quantity. So we can call here displacement. Displacement is vector quantity. Displacement. Now here one more example, speed. Analogous to speed, analogous means similar to speed. Here will be velocity, acceleration, force, momentum. So these are few etc. You will come to know which are scalar, which are vector in the upcoming chapters. Here see mass, volume. Why? जरा तुम्ही इमेजिन करायचं मास. आपण असं म्हणतो का my mass is 60 kg towards America and remaining 20 is towards Japan. No, my mass is 60 kg. My weight is 600 Newton. My weight is equal to mg. Mass into acceleration due to gravity. So mass is how much? 60. Acceleration due to gravity nearly 9.81. We can assume it as 10. Nearly 10. Approximate. 60 into 10? 600 Newton. Approximate 9.81 चा आपण 10 assume केलेला आहे. 600 Newton. बघा तुम्ही डॉक्टरला एका डॉक्टरची गंमत करू शकता, डॉक्टरला खुळ्यात काढू शकता, ठीक आहे, त्याची गंमत करू शकता. डॉक्टरला जाऊन विचारतो तुम्ही की डॉक्टर what is my weight? So he will ask you to stand on that weighing machine. Then after looking, he will say your weight is 50 kg, 60 kg. तुम्ही म्हणू शकता तुम्हाला कोणी डॉक्टर केलं? Because that 60 kg is not your weight, that is your mass. And wherever you go in the universe, wherever, on whichever planet, Mars, Earth, Moon, Jupiter, wherever you go, mass will remain same. Mass tell us about the content of the body, how much quantity is present in the body, mass. But mass when multiplied to acceleration due to gravity, and this acceleration due to gravity has the direction where? Towards the earth. If any body is placed in air, when we release it in air, it will fall towards the earth. It will fall towards the earth. It will fall on the ground. Okay, फरक पडला, ठीक है, fall on the ground. So that means it has direction, specific direction. That's why weight is vector quantity. Weight is nothing but force itself. Why? Mass into acceleration. Force is also mass into acceleration. We can add here weight. Volume. What is the unit of volume? Liters or meter cube. Volume, length into breadth into height. Length into breadth into height. Volume, meter cube, or you can say liter. So you can't say this water or this oil or this petrol is 2 liters towards Mumbai and 1 liters towards Chennai. It is just 3 liters. No need to specify the direction. Because it is the amount, it is the quantity, it doesn't have direction. So this is scalar quantity. So time also. So as we move on to the next, all the physics of 11th class as well as 12th class, you will come to know more on which are the scalar quantities and which are the vector quantities. Same as you will come to know what are the units and dimensions of different quantities. आता ज्या तुम्हाला माहिती आहे त्याचं त्या मी एक्झाम्पल म्हणून लिहिलेले आहेत. ज्या माहिती आहेत त्या हळूहळू समजतील. इवन दो ज्या क्वांटिटीचं युनिट तुम्हाला 9th मध्ये माहित होतं, 9th 10th मध्ये त्या युनिट्सचं आपण बघितलेलं आहे. ज्याचं माहित नाहीये ते आपण पुढे शिकणार आहोत, ठीक आहे. सो टिल दॅट दीज आर द एक्झाम्पल्स. So write down what is the definition of scalar quantity and what is the definition of vector quantity. First, scalar quantity. The physical quantity, it is a physical quantity which has magnitude only. It doesn't have specific direction. It doesn't have specific direction. It has magnitude only. Okay, after that write down these examples. Okay, pause the video and write examples. Next definition, vector quantities. Vector quantities, it is a physical quantity. The physical quantity which has magnitude as well as direction. Physical quantity which has magnitude as well as direction is called vector quantity. It's called vector quantity. Examples are in front of you. Pause the video and write all the examples. Okay, for both the things. Now next we will see types of vectors. So first vector, zero or null vector. Zero or null vector. Second type, equal vectors. Then third type, negative or opposite vector. Fourth type, resultant vector. Fifth type, unit vector. And sixth one, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, E, F. Zero, equal, negative, resultant, unit, and okay, let's see. So zero vector is the vector which has zero magnitude but have some direction. Okay, zero magnitude but have some direction. Like see, if any object is stationary, suppose this block is, or this vehicle is stationary, which is having mass m. Stationary means velocity is zero. V for velocity, or u, you can say u for initial velocity. Velocity is zero. Now it is stationary. Velocity is zero, so we can say it has magnitude zero and have some direction. For example, or different we'll say a body which is moving with constant velocity, u is equal to 10 meter per second. After some time, final velocity v is also 10 meter per second. So here no change in velocity. म्हणजे तुम्ही accelerate केलेलं नाहीये. बाईक मध्ये accelerate असतो हातामध्ये, मूव्ह होणार असतो, accelerate असतो, आणि कार मध्ये पायात असतो. ठीक है ना, accelerator. So accelerator से use करें to increase the speed. So here speed is not increased from initially it was 0, finally it is also 0. That means the acceleration is 0. Sorry, initially it was 10, finally it is also 10. That means acceleration is 0. Why? Acceleration is nothing but a rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Differentiation of velocity with respect to time. कशाचं डिफरन्शिएशन 0 असतो? कोणत्या क्वांटिटीचं डिफरन्शिएशन 0 असतो? कॉन्स्टंटचं. If anything is constant, the differentiation of constant is 0, integration of 0 is constant. We have studied. So as velocity is constant, so this is the differentiation of velocity with respect to time. So velocity is not changing with respect to time. Means time wise, as time passes, velocity is same. That means acceleration is 0, or we can say differentiation of constant term. Why it is constant? Initially 10, finally 10. Then it is constant. That's why this object moving is in this direction. So it has the direction, but it does not have the magnitude. It has some direction, but does not have the magnitude. This type of vectors are called zero vector. Write down. Vectors which has magnitude, zero magnitude. Vectors which have zero magnitude but have some direction or in specific direction. Vectors which have zero magnitude in specific direction called zero vector. कळलं? मी काय बोलतोय पटपट व्हिडिओ पॉज करा, परत जाणून लिहून घ्या. रिपीट करण्याची गरज नाही ना. Vector which has zero magnitude in specific direction is called zero vector. Example: body as a rest. Body at a rest have zero velocity. First example: body at a rest have zero velocity. Second example आपण म्हणू शकतो a body moving with constant velocity. A body moving with constant velocity. Constant म्हणजे velocity is same. Uniform. What is meant by uniform? So according to some of the students, uniform means the dress you wear for school, that is uniform. No, uniform means that is not uniform. Uniform means same. Uniform concept कधी आला? खूप वर्षापूर्वीपासून. Even in ancient history, आश्रम असायचे. And in that ashram, the students used to go for training and त्यांचे भगव्या कलरचे वस्त्र वगैरे असायचे. So uniformity is from those days itself, and that is not to differentiate or avoid the difference between rich and poor. Because if uniform dress or uniform shirts and pants will not be there, then what will happen? There will be a huge difference between the clothes and all. Okay, from as per the economical conditions of parents. So to reduce or to avoid that difference, so uniform to all. Uniform means constant, same dress to all. Okay, so uniform is not only for dress material, it is for anything you can apply the word uniform. Uniform means same, uniform means constant. So if a body moves with uniform velocity, that means acceleration is 0, that means acceleration vector is 0. So here 0 vector कौन है? Acceleration. Here 0 vector is what? Velocity. Getting my point? So first example, body at rest. Second example, body moving with constant velocity has 0 acceleration. This is first zero or null vector. Okay. Second, equal vector. Equal vectors. अनेक में vectors बनते हैं. Vectors. So it will be two vectors which are having same magnitude and same direction. Suppose this is vector A. This is the method of denoting vectors. So here vector A magnitude of vector A is equal to magnitude of vector B if this is called magnitude. Whatever written inside the modulus is called magnitude. Okay. If, and this is the denotation of vector. Remember, see, I will tell you. Vector can be represented as A bar, as A and arrow. A vector, B vector la B arrow. Okay. Magnitude. Magnitude कसा येणार? A modulus. Now tell me direction. See, in vector, in every vector there are two characteristics that are magnitude as well as direction. That means this vector has both the things. This vector A has both the things, magnitude and direction. If I divide it by magnitude, what will remain? See, if I write A bar upon A, modulus A. What is A bar? What is A arrow? That means vector A. Vector A means it is having magnitude and direction upon what I have written? Magnitude. See, magnitude. So, यामध्ये magnitude and direction है. हे फक्त magnitude है. Magnitude cancel होईल. काय होईल? Direction. So that's why it is direction. समजते का? So vector is represented by A and arrow. Magnitude means its value. Value is represented by mod of A. Then direction will be vector A upon mod A. Why vector A upon mod A? Vector A means magnitude and direction. When we divide it by magnitude, only direction will be. Okay. So if magnitude is also same, if magnitude is same and direction पण same, direction same म्हणजे काय? Vector A. This is the direction of vector A is equal to this is the direction of vector B. Ultimately हे and है. Ultimately है, which tends to vector A is equal to vector B. Then we can say then vector A is equal to vector B. So first of all write what is meant by equal vectors, and after that you write this everything. Okay. First of all make this a note anywhere. Write this anywhere. Okay. Or in the summers, you know, that margin. Anywhere you write. Suppose this is a page. You have here a margin as well as here a margin. In that margin you write vector is equal to A. Vector can be represented as A or B or C, any name. Any name you can give. X, Y, Z, P, Q, R, anything. I have written A. Okay. So vector can represent A and arrow, magnitude mod of A. So direction will be vector upon mod. So magnitude direction upon magnitude. Magnitude cancel only the direction. So equal vectors are the vectors which has same magnitude and the direction. Write the definition of equal vectors. It is a pair of vectors which have same magnitude and same direction. After writing the definition, write this. After the definition, draw this diagram and then write this. Okay. If mod of A, the magnitude of A is equal to magnitude of B and direction of A is equal to direction of B, then vector A is equal to vector B. That means two vectors are equal. negative or opposite vectors. Negative or opposite vectors means here see this is vector A, okay, just arrow is different. Just arrow is different. Magnitude is same. See, length of this arrow is equal to length of this arrow. Means magnitude of A is equal to magnitude of B. Value is same. Length is same. But direction is different. So I can write vector A is minus of this. Negative of this vector. Okay. Then vector A is equal to minus of vector B. This is called negative or opposite vector. So first of all, give the title negative or opposite vector. Negative or opposite vector. Negative or opposite vector. Third one. In that, right? If it is a pair of two vectors. It is a pair of two vectors. It is a pair of two vectors. It is a pair of two vectors which have in which both the vectors have same direction, same magnitude can be, yeah, magnitude is same magnitude but opposite direction. Now write this. आता मी यामध्ये काहीतरी बदल केलाय. मगाशी वेगळं होतं. तुम्ही म्हणाल सर आता तर लिहिलंय ते की मग एकदाच राहू दे. किंवा मगाशी काय होतं, इथं नेगेटिव्ह नव्हतं, पॉझिटिव्ह होतं, इथं पण पॉझिटिव्ह होतं. नाउ इट इज नेगेटिव्ह. दिस इज सेम, मॅग्निट्यूड इज सेम, डिरेक्शन इज अपोजिट. हियर एरो पण लास्ट टाइम एरो इकडे होता हा वाला, आता इकडे आहे, अपोजिट आहे. ठीक आहे ना. राइट दिस. Okay, pause the video and write. Next one, fourth, resultant vector. Resultant vector is a single vector which produces same effect. It is a single vector which produces same effect that of all the vectors. Like for example, you are playing tug of war. Tug of war, you know. Here is a person. Tug of war. So instead of these three people, this person applies the force F1, this person applies the force F2, this person applies the force F3. Instead of these three, if I use a big pahilwan, big wrestler, okay, big pahilwan, so that the net force applied by this pahilwan will be F1 plus F2 plus F3. Here the force applied by these two wrestlers is small f1 and small f2. Here also I will use another large wrestler who applies the force is equal to small f1 plus small f2. Now this capital F, which is equal to sum of all the three, and the small f, which is the sum of equal to f1 plus f2. This small f and this capital F is called resultant. Result of these three is f, which is meaning f1 plus f2 plus f3. Result of these two is nothing but f1 plus f2. This is the resultant. So what I can write in resultant vector? It is a single vector. It is a single vector which produces same effect of sum of all the vectors. Sum of all the vectors, which produces sum of all the vectors. In fact, तुम्ही असं म्हणू शकता resultant means total. Resultant means total. Like for example, you are applying force F1 here. One person applies force F2 here. Where will this dog go? If only F1 is present, it will go in this direction. If only F2 is present, then it will go in this direction. If only F2 is present. But if both are present, it will go in this direction. So this is resultant force. We can call it as F1 plus F2. Resultant F1 plus F2. Draw this diagram. Draw this diagram. F1 plus F2. This is resultant force. So what is the resultant force? We have studied. Next, unit vector. Unit vector. What is the unit vector? Which has unit magnitude. Unit magnitude म्हणजे काय? Magnitude जेव्हा कॅन्सल होईल त्यावेळी काय होईल? Only the direction. That means unit vector can be represented as A cap, which is vector A upon mod of A. B cap, vector B upon mod of B. See, this vector A consists of what? Magnitude and direction. Mod of A means what? Magnitude of A. Magnitude and magnitude cancel. काय होईल फक्त direction. So this is the symbol of direction. Last time आपण इथे लिहिलं होतं, ठीक आहे? Vector कसं दाखवतो? A arrow. A can be A B C D Z तर काय करू शकतो? Magnitude कसं शो करणार? Mod of A. Then direction. That is A cap, which is nothing but A bar upon A mod. A bar upon A bar mod. A cap. अशी cap. ठीक है? Right cap here. Cap. So this is the symbol of direction. Okay. So and this is also called unit vector. Why it is called unit vector? It has direction, magnitude cancel, and when anything cancel in numerator and denominator, remaining is 1. So one magnitude has some direction. One magnitude. See here, 0 magnitude have some direction called 0 vector. So if magnitude is 0 and have some specific direction, we will call it as 0 vector. And if magnitude is 1 and have some specific direction, then it is called unit vector. Why? Unit means 1. Unit means 1. Unity ekta. So unit means 1. Parallel vectors. Okay. Not necessarily parallel vectors are equal. But equal vectors must be parallel. We have seen. Write down this under unit vectors. Write down this under unit vector. See, we have seen equal vectors. Now equal vectors must have same magnitude and same direction. So as it must have same direction, that's why it must be parallel. So we can say every equal vectors must be parallel. Every Maharashtrian must be an Indian. but every Indian must not be, may not be an Maharashtrian. It may be Bihari, it may be Bengalan, it may be Punjabi. Okay, so each and every equal vector is parallel vector, but each and every parallel vector is not equal vector. Parallel आहे पण magnitude different आहे, म्हणजे equal नाही आहे, only parallel आहे. So these are parallel vectors, vector A and vector B. So what we can say about parallel vectors? We can't say magnitude is same. We can't say. It may same or it may not same. But we can definitely say the direction is same. Direction is same. So we can say what? A cap is equal to B cap. A cap is equal to B cap. What is meant by A cap? Vector A upon mod A is equal to vector B upon magnitude. Magnitude cancel, magnitude cancel, only direction same. Then we can say if A cap is equal to B cap or this, then the vectors are parallel vectors. Then what is anti-parallel? Anti-parallel is not intersecting the way. See, here are parallel. These are parallel. This is intersecting. This is parallel. And what is anti-parallel? तुम्ही म्हणणार सर फसवताय ते पण पॅरललच आहे की. This is anti-parallel. Means what? Actually they are parallel in mathematics. In mathematics they are parallel, but direction is opposite. So what we can say here, if A cap is equal to minus of B cap, that means vector A upon mod A is equal to minus of vector B upon mod B. Vector A, vector B. Can you call it as opposite vector or negative vector? Can you call? Will you call? No. When they are negative or opposite vectors, if with this condition, magnitude also same. Magnitude must be same. So we can say every opposite vectors are anti-parallel. Opposite असले तो obviously ते anti-parallel असले पाहिजे. But anti-parallel असतील तर opposite किंवा negative असलं असेल नाही. Anti-parallel म्हटल्यानंतर उलटे तर आहे तर पण magnitude सेम आहे का? नाही. Same as parallel and equal. Parallel म्हटल्यानंतर फक्त direction सेम. पण equal कधी direction पण सेम, magnitude पण सेम. तेव्हा equal. Anti-parallel कधी जेव्हा फक्त उलटे असते, एक असा एक असा. पण नेगेटिव्ह किंवा ऑपोजिट कधी उलटे तर पाहिजेतच आणि त्यांचा मॅग्निट्यूड पण सेम पाहिजे. ओके, सो दिस इज अबाउट टाइप्स ऑफ वेक्टर्स. Then we'll see. Wait 1 second. Triangle law of vector addition. Triangle law of vector addition. So what is this law? If two vectors or two lines describes two vectors in magnitude and direction as the sides of a triangle in the same manner, like same manner in what? Or if two vectors are such that they represents the two sides of a triangle. Suppose this is vector A, this is vector B. You know, one more thing. If this is the arrow, this side is called head, and this terminating edge is called tail. Head and tail. Head and tail. Okay. This is the notation of vector. Head and tail. Now here see, दोघं एकमेकांना फॉलो करतात. हा याला फॉलो करतोय की नाही? टेल हेड फॉलो करतोय ना. हा इकडे चाललाय, हा त्याच्या बॅक साइडवरून येतोय. फॉलो करतोय. हे फॉलो करतात का सांगा मला? हे फॉलो करतात का नाही? इथं काय टेल मिक्स झाले. हा इकडे चाललाय, हा इकडे चाललाय. फॉलो नाही करत. हा फॉलो करतोय का? हे फॉलो करतात का? इथं हेड मिक्स झाले. फॉलो नाही करत. ओके. And so this is not following each other. These are not following each other. These two are following each other. See, B is going ahead and A is following B. Okay. So what we can say, two vectors in magnitude and direction represents two sides of a triangle. If they represent two sides of a triangle, then their resultant will be the third side. The resultant will be the third side in opposite sense. In opposite sense म्हणजे बघा, हे कसे चालेल? Clockwise. Clockwise चालत नाही. Clockwise as clock moves. Clockwise. So resultant will be anti-clockwise. These vectors are going clockwise. So resultant will be anti-clockwise, completing the side of the triangle. Completing the triangle. That is the third side of the triangle. Completing the triangle, or we can call it as third side of a triangle. This is vector R, vector A plus vector B. Resultant, vector A plus vector B. समझ में क्या मतलब? So right now definition: if two vectors in magnitude and direction, represents two sides of a triangle in a same sense, tail head, same sense, following each other ना. tail head आहे, त्यानंतर पण tail head आहे, same sense. म्हणजे हा इकडे अँटी क्लॉकवाइज चाललाय, अँटी क्लॉकवाइज एकाच दिशेने चालतो. ठीक आहे. सेम सेन्स. then the resultant will be the third side. Then the resultant is given by the third side. In opposite sense. Opposite. बघा आर कसं आहे, त्यांच्या अपोजिट आहे. तो टेल हेड नाही आला, इथं हेड मिक्स झालेला आहे. तो असा नाही आला. टेल clock च्या opposite, counter clockwise. Okay, so draw this diagram. After this, we will see one example. See, suppose this is vector A, this is vector B. Where will be the resultant? Now, how to find the resultant? After the definition of triangle law, you write this diagram, draw this diagram. But here see, how to find the resultant? We have these two sides of a triangle, one side, two sides. This will be the third side. But problem is that these two vectors are not in same sense. Bada, head, tail, head, not in same sense. So we need to bring these two vectors in same sense. How to bring? If I shift this vector here, so equivalent figure will be, this is vector B as it is, this is vector B, and I will shift this vector A here. This is vector A. So I have shifted this vector A here. Now see, now these two vectors B and A are in same sense, tail, head. Okay? Now these two vectors are in same sense. In which direction? Counterclockwise. Tail, head. Counterclockwise sense. Then the resultant will be clockwise sense, completing the triangle. Clockwise sense. So, and the third side. So this will be the resultant. And direction is here. R is equal to B plus A. R is equal to vector B plus vector A. This will be the direction. Why? Because tail head, this is counterclockwise. So resultant will be clockwise. Okay? So काय करायचं इथं जर असे दोन tail mix झाल्या तर काय करणार आहे इकडे parallelly shift करायचं. For example, आणखी एक example बघूया आपण. Suppose दोन head mix झाले असतील तर तरी पण कसं करायचं काय डिफिकल्ट नाही आहे. Suppose I vector आहे, here two heads are mixed. So these are not following each other. This is vector A, this is vector B. Not following म्हणजे बघा tail head tail. Following म्हणजे काय पाहिजे होतं tail head नंतर इथं पण tail मग head पाहिजे होतं असं एकमेकांच्या. One is leading, one is lagging, one is ahead, one is behind. Okay, so what I will do here, I will shift this A here. As it is, मी याला इथं shift करू शकतो or shift this B here. Do anything. Or shift this A here. So the equivalent figure will be. So I will shift this B here. What will happen? This is B, vector B, and this is your vector A as it is. Vector A as it is. I have shifted this B here. Now see, tail head. Okay. Now tail head. कशा आहेत? These are in same manner, same sense. In which orientation? Clockwise. कशा आहेत? घड्याळाच्या दिशेने. So resultant will be anti-clockwise. These are clockwise. As clock moves, so resultant will be anti-clockwise, opposite to clock. So this will be the resultant completing the third side. This resultant will be B plus A. Okay. So these are the examples when they are not in same sense. So you have to convert the figure in the same manner. So I have shifted this B here. You can also shift this A here also, or take this A forward, or take the B forward, no problem. general law of vector addition. Now it's 50. Now based on this two, we will see what is commutative law and associative law. So these two we'll see and we will stop here. Commutative and associative. In commutative, see, we can say vector A plus vector B is nothing but vector B plus vector A. We have to do this. Remember, काय सांगतो sir? 3 plus 5 8. So 5 plus 3 will be 8. Same thing. Why are you repeating? Why are you telling? 3 आणि 5 8 असता आणि 5 आणि 3 पण 8 च येणार है. क्यों बता रहे हो सर आप? सेम ही तो है. बट पता चलेगा आगे आपको क्या है इसमें डिफरेंस. सो अभी तो सेम है. फिलहाल a plus b is equal to b plus a. Let's prove with the diagram. See, suppose this is vector A, this one is vector B. These are following each other. Tail head, okay, tail head. So which orientation is this? Which orientation is this? Clockwise. So resultant will be anti-clockwise. So this is the resultant. Resultant, if I name it as R, so resultant will be B. B is first, right? B plus A. So resultant will be B plus A. Now, one more thing. If I shift this B upward, if I shift this B upward here as it is, and if I shift this A here like this, now see, tell me, just I can shift like in last example we have studied, I can shift this A here and B here. So now here also tail head. Now these two are also in same manner. कोणता manner आहे तो? Opposite clockwise. The resultant will be anti-clockwise. So resultant will be clockwise, and the same resultant completing this triangle. The resultant is same. That is R itself, but the resultant is now A plus B. Suppose if I assume R1, R2, but R1 and R2 are same. R is same, na? R is same. Same thing, same line. So we can say as R and R are same, hence vector A plus vector B is equal to vector B plus vector A. So B and A केलं तर B side आली, B ला इथं मिळालं, A ला इथं मिळालं, तर tail head. So resultant will be this. Okay. So हा जो आजचा व्हिडिओ आहे तो तुम्ही रिपीट बघा, पॉज करा, समजण्यासारख्या गोष्टी आहेत. उगीच ट्रायंगल ड्रॉ करू नका, फक्त त्याच्या टेक्निक मध्ये जा, कॉपी पेस्ट करू नका. कसा ड्रॉ केला ते बघा. टेल हेड कसा आहे, काउंटर क्लॉकवाइज, एंटी क्लॉकवाइज. रिजल्टंट विल बी क्लॉकवाइज. here tell head clockwise, resultant will be anti-clockwise. This is R. So now R is common, that means here it is B plus A and here it is A plus B. So both are same. Then we will see associative. In associative, meaning A plus vector B plus separate C is equal to vector A plus combined vector B plus C. These two are same. इथे काय केलंय A plus B ची सम सेपरेट आहे प्लस C आणि इथे A सेपरेट आहे आणि प्लस B plus C. हे दोघं सेम येतात. बघूया. This is vector A, this is vector B, this is vector C. Now tell me, this is the arrow, here is the arrow, here is the arrow. Vector A plus vector B, क्या है? Vector A plus B है ना? Tell head, कैसा है? Clockwise है. Resultant anti-clockwise. So this is the resultant. What is the name of this resultant? A plus B. Resultant A plus B. Now this is A plus B. Now the new vector A plus B. A plus B plus C. Now A plus B कैसा है? Tell head. A plus B कैसा है? Tell head and again C tell head. So tell head, these are also clockwise, resultant will be anti-clockwise. Okay, so these are clockwise, so resultant anti-clockwise. Completing this triangle. So this is the resultant, which is A plus B plus C. Another thing, if I think that A separate and B plus C. Now for B plus C, if you study tell head is B, tell head is C, in the same manner, put direction clockwise, the resultant will be, this is clockwise, resultant will be clockwise ना, resultant will be anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise म्हणजे असा आहे, इथूनच असा anti-clockwise. This is the resultant completing the triangle. What is the resultant? हा R1 असून तर हा कसला R2 as B plus C. B plus C. Now we have B plus C between A and B plus C. This is vector A, tell head vector A. This is vector B plus C. This one is vector B plus C. A and हा B plus C. Tell head. Same manner. So कसा आहे clockwise है, clockwise असा जातो असा येतो clock सारखा आहे. So resultant will be anti-clockwise. Completing this triangle, anti-clockwise. This will be the resultant. So this is the final resultant will be A plus combined B plus C. Okay. Hence, as R are same, this will be same. So this is associative commutative law and associative law. So for you, the homework is I will give one screenshot of units and measurement chapter, that is exercise from the textbook. So you have to finish that. Today night you first show me the classwork notes, whatever I have taught in this classroom. You show me the notes. After that you have to complete the exercise of units and measurement from state board as well as CBSE. So the people who belongs to state board, they solve the state board exercise from state board, and the people who belongs to CBSE, they solve the exercise from CBSE book, NCERT. ठीक है ना? और we do one thing, सर्वांनी स्टेट बोर्ड असू दे किंवा सीबी असू दे, सर्वांनी पहिल्यांदा आज रात्री मला याच्या क्लास नोट्स दाखवायच्या, प्लस क्लास नोट्स प्लस from the state board book I will give you screenshot of that exercise. everybody from whether you are in state board or in CBSE board, you have to show me the exercise. Solve the exercise of units and measurement. I will provide the screenshot. Okay, so hope you are studying well. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you very much.